Welcome, I'm Crafty Digger, this is my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about diabetes. Specifically my diabetes and how I've been progressing in it. And that's also going to be tied along with, of course, today's diet. So today's been another good day. I have more or less stuck with the diet. I had to cook for my girlfriend, she's working nights tonight, and she wanted a pasty with beans and chips. Now I make homemade chips and they are fantastic, they're the best chips you'll ever taste. They're actually better than fish and chip shop chips according to my girlfriend, and my dogs love them too. She says to me, "Can you make tea? And I want some chips." So I said, "How many potatoes would you like me to do?" She said, "3 please." I said, "Well, do you want me to do some for the dogs as well?" So she said, 4 potatoes. Now, I made 4 potatoes. That's a lot of chips. Probably about 4 or 5 persons worth of portions. But she is working all night and she won't eat anything else. And she was sleeping all day, so it's her only meal of the day. So I thought, yeah, no problem. So I cut all the chips up, put them all on her plate, gave them to the dogs, and there was too many for her. So with that said, this is my calories for the day. I had a USN strawberry flavour, I had a reduced salt and sugar Heinz tomato soup, I had the USN vanilla flavour and the Heinz beef broth, for a total of 839 calories, which for the quick mathematicians among you, you'll see that that's the wrong number. So I had a slice of bread for 108 calories because it was a wholemeal slice, and I didn't have 189 calories, but that's how much I've worked out from an app that I use, that 100 gram of chips is 189 calories. I had 10 gram, about 6 chips, a very small amount because I don't make them very big. So adding all that together made a total of 839 calories eaten today. Do I consider that cheating? No, because I'll take a bit off tomorrow. And as a bonus for tomorrow, I have a new flavour. I ordered it yesterday. I was desperate for it. I've got another box of USN flavour. It's $26.99 on Amazon right now. It's the banana caramel flavour. It smells gorgeous and I'm looking forward to trying it because I'm getting tired of the current flavours I'm using. You might have noticed that I have an awful lot of strawberry, an awful lot of vanilla, and not very many chocolate. I'm not a fan of the chocolate, and the vanilla is not brilliant either for me. It's supposed to taste like vanilla ice cream. It's close, but yeah, it's okay. But the banana caramel, oh, now that does smell good. If that tastes as good as it smells, I'll be having an awful lot more of those than anything else. Plus, I've got a 2 kilogram box for the $26.99 instead of the 1 kilogram for $14.99. So it's even cheaper and better value than the others. I might have to start buying them online at $26.99 a box for 2 kilograms instead of buying them locally for $14.99 for 1 kilogram. Now that's out of the way, I want to talk to you about diabetes. Now when I tell people I've got type 2 diabetes, one of the most common things that they say to me is, "Oh, well, that's not the dangerous one." Well, that's complete nonsense. Utter and complete nonsense. There's no such thing as a dangerous one and a non-dangerous one. If you have diabetes, you have diabetes. The types are not to do with whether it's dangerous or not. A lot of people also think they're to do with whether you have to have insulin or not. That's also not true. Type 1 diabetes you generally have from birth or from a young age when it's detected, and it's because your pancreas for some reason doesn't produce insulin. And with type 2 diabetes, your body is producing insulin, but for one reason or another, it's not using the insulin you're producing. That's still just as dangerous, but what it does mean is I'll never go low on my sugars. I'll always go high. Now being high is more dangerous in some ways because you can't tell that you're high. You don't feel it. Whereas if you go low, you can go into a coma. If you go exceptionally high, you can go into a coma, but that's less likely. So if you have type 1 diabetes and you're not taking enough insulin, you can go low, go into a coma. That's far more likely than going high and going into a coma. but the damage is still getting done. You can still have damage to your eyes, damage to your liver and kidneys, you can have damage to your circulation, you can have damage to your nerves. It's a terrible disease, and this is why I'm trying so hard on this diet. I was diagnosed in October 2017, having had several years where I was pre-diabetes. I was well prepared, I'd done all my research, I knew as much as I could possibly know about diabetes before it struck. And it came as no stranger to me when the doctor told me, right, you have diabetes now, we're going to have to do 6 monthly checks on your blood, and you're going to have to start taking some form of tablets to reduce the sugar in your blood. Now I found that I'm intolerant to metformin, which is the most commonly prescribed drug, and on my research I found that many other people are intolerant to it too. If I take metformin in the dosages that the doctor wants me to take, I'm useless. My brain is fogged, my body is tired and achy, and actually the diabetes causes less of an issue than the solution of metformin. I struggled with that for a little while, and then they changed me onto sitagliptin. Now sitagliptin doesn't have a major effect, but it's only 1 tablet a day, doesn't have any negative side effects for me at all. But it also doesn't have many positive benefits, and normally it's prescribed along with metformin and has a little bit of a more of a benefit. So, how have I done over the last few years? Pretty badly. This green line at the bottom shows you anywhere below that is normal for a person who doesn't have diabetes. The yellow line is the borderline. So between the green and the yellow line, you are pre-diabetes. Anywhere on the yellow line and above, you have diabetes. So you can see that in October, I had a reading of 70 mmol, which is pretty high as it only goes up to 108. And after I'd been told that, I did some quick changes to my diet and I managed to drop it in 2 months to below the red line, which is the line that they'd like me to be at or below. And as you can see, for the rest of the time I've not been able to achieve that. It was very hard to achieve that the first time, and that was on metformin, which I couldn't cope with. So all my readings after that were without metformin. So they settled on a 55 mmol for me as a target. Not ideal, but still better than the readings that I'm getting. So I had a long gap between April 2018 and February 2019 where I didn't have it checked. That was down to me. The timings were just wrong. I couldn't get it organised. So it's all my fault. I should have got it organised. That line would have been probably a little bit better. I don't know. However, that reading there was the second highest reading I've ever had. It's about 83. At that point, the doctor said to me, right, okay, we need to get something sorted. And I said, no, it's okay. I know what's gone wrong. I will change my diet. My next reading was August 2019. And as you can see, it was spot on the 55 mmol that they wanted. And my next reading, only 6 months later, in February 2020, was around about the same as well. However, the last few months, I haven't been taking care of myself. I haven't been considered about my diet because I didn't need to worry so much. I was keeping it low without worrying too much. So I've eaten out, I've eaten bad foods that even healthy people shouldn't eat. And that resulted in my last reading in August this year of 90 mmol. And as I said, 108 is the highest that the scale goes to. That's what's prompted me to start this diet. If I can't bring that down, I'm going to have to start injecting insulin. I don't want to do that. I can't stand injections. But, as I said, the NHS has had success with this diet, and I'm going to keep trying this diet. I'm going to ask the doctors to give me another test in the next month or so to see if the first month of this diet has worked for me bringing it down. Now, the way that the HbA1c works is it monitors the hemoglobin and the sugars that are attached to the red blood cells over the last 3 months, because that's how long the red blood cells live. So they can do an accurate count of how much sugar you've got in your system for the last 3 months. Dropping my diet to 800 calories a day for 1 month with occasional Fridays off should reduce that significantly. So hopefully the next test I have will be dropped back down to around about the 55 again level. If all goes well, the next test in February will be below the line and I will be considered not diabetic anymore. But I have to keep it below that line. I can't go back to my old ways. I've got to be strong and I've got to change the way I eat for a lifetime, not just for a small trial. So this isn't going to be a small trial. It's a 1-year program that at the end of the program I should be fit and healthy and my weight under control because I'll be eating good food and know what to do to keep it that way. Well, that's all for me from today. So I shall look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.